Hi friends, this is Rika. Welcome to this class. This class is about the element of air. We already went through the three elements, earth, water and fire. And today we're connecting to the element of air, which connects our inner world with the outer world. The best example for that is our breath. So we breathe in, the air goes all the way into our lungs, from our lungs into our body and cells. And with the out breaths, it comes out into our surroundings again. The element of air is also connected to our heart chakra, which is in the region of our chest, where all the air goes in when we breathe in. And we will open our hearts in this flow. We will connect to ourselves, to our self-love, and also to the compassion towards ourselves and also towards others. We will start this class with a pranayama, Nadi Shodana, so it's the alternate nostril breathing. We will breathe in through one nostril, breathe out through the other, and in between in and exhalations we will hold our breath. I will explain in detail in a bit. I invite you, if you have any essential oil like something rosy, ylang ylang, or something fresh like lemongrass or lemon, mint, anything, then I invite you to grab that and place into your palms 1 or 2 drops. Rub your palms together and then take some in-breaths through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. One more inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And then we start this class with the pranayama, as I already said. You can use your block underneath your pelvic floor to elevate your hips a little bit, to have a really straight spine here. You can also come into Thunderbolt Pose Virasana. Your hands can be on your thighs for just a moment. Roll your shoulders back, close your eyes or soften your gaze, and then take some deep breaths here. Find into your body. Find into your breath. Connect to the outer world with your breath. Breathing in fresh, cool air. And exhaling all the stale, warmed up air in your lungs. Maybe you want to set an intention for today's class. Something connected to the air element. Maybe it's something easy like I feel at ease or I feel free. And then repeat that intention for yourself for 3 more times. Connect to the intention. One more deep breath here. Or if your next inhale, you can either open your eyes or keep them closed. I will shortly explain the pranayama, Nadi Shodana, that we're going to do now. The Nadi Shodana means clear or open your nadis, so the energy channels within your body. We have 72,000 of them within our bodies. And this pranayama clears these energy channels, clears the way into these channels, and helps us to feel connected to the element of air. We're using our right hand, the index finger and middle finger on the third eye, the thumb on the right nostril, the ring finger on the left nostril, and then we start breathing in through the right nostril. 5 counts. We hold the breath for 5 counts, And then we open up the ring finger to breathe out of the left nostrils for 5 counts, and we close back our nostrils for 5 counts. And then we repeat through the other side. So we first open the left nostril, count to 5, close both nostrils, count to 5, exhale through the right, count to 5, and close, count to 5. Then we repeat the cycle in and out for a few times. I will guide you into it, you do it on your own, and then I guide you out of it again. If you want, you can also increase the count, so you can start to breathe in 5 counts, hold 5 counts, and exhale, for example, 6, 7, or 8 counts, and then hold again for 5 counts. And then let's get into it. Take your right hand into your position, close the left nostril, and then breathe in through the right for 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale left, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale left, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale right, 3, 4, 5. Close 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale right, 3, 4, 5. Close, and keep breathing in your own pace. You can also extend your exhalations and the holds after your exhalations if you want. Feel the air flowing into your body. Maybe you can feel a difference between your right and left nostril. Maybe the amount of air that flows in through your left and right nostril, or the amount that flows out. Maybe you can feel the difference in your in and out breaths. Keep breathing like this for a few more cycles. Alternating between left and right nostril and holding your breath. We breathe around 13 kilograms of air each day, which equals 800 grams of oxygen that can all be transported through our airways all the way into our cells. So the element of air is always thought as of the weakest of the elements, but I think it's one of the most powerful ones. You can heal your body, you can heal your mind by only breathing. Take one more breath like this and up with your right nostril. So your last exhalation is through the right nostril. And when you're done, then place both hands onto your thighs. Take a few deep breaths here. Releasing your breath and getting back to the natural cycle of your breath. You can keep your eyes closed and feel into your body. Maybe you feel a difference to your breathing before and now. Maybe you want to connect to your intention one more time. Really feel the intention. Say it to yourself with meaning. And when you're ready, you can start to peel open your eyes. You can remove the block from underneath your pelvic floor if you had one, and then find your way onto your shins. So into Thunderbolt pose, Virasana, to the end of your mat. We will start with some moon salutations, Chandra Namaskars, variation F. Take your hands into your heart center for that. Take a breath here. Again, feeling into your body. And with your next inhale, lift your hips up above your knees. So you're standing on your knees. Take your right leg towards the front of your mat so that your knees in 90-degree angle, low lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, rotate open towards the right. Your arms come straight to the sides. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, rotate towards the left. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, left arm comes to your side. Your right arm stays up. Tuck your back toes under. And then maybe reach for your heel, come into a half camel pose. Inhale, come back to center, reach your arms up, untuck your back toes, and bring your right leg underneath your hip again, hands to your heart center, and sit back down into Thunderbolt pose, Virasana. Take a breath here. And with your next inhale, lift back up. Your left foot comes towards the front of the mat into low lunge, Anjayanasana. Inhale, lift your arms up. And then exhale, rotate open towards the left, your arms straight to your sides. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, rotate open towards the right. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release your right arm to your side. Maybe tuck your back toes under and come into half camel pose on this side. Adha Ustrasana. Inhale, come back up, reach your arms up, untuck your back toes, and then place your left leg underneath your hip again. Sit back down into Virasana Thunderbolt pose. Take a deep breath here, or 2 or 3. Balance out your spine again. Balance out your breath. We do this one more time. So with your next inhale, lift your hips above your knees. Step your right leg towards the front of the mat. Reach your arms up. And then exhale, rotate open towards the right, arms straight to your sides. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, rotate open towards the left. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, left arm to your side, tuck your back toes under. Come to your left heel with your left hand. Your right arm reaches towards the back into camel pose. Try to bend into your front knee. And then with your next inhale, come back into Anjaneyasana and tuck your back toes. And then lift your right leg underneath your hips again. Sit back down onto your heels. Take a deep breath here. And we move into the other side. Inhale, lift your hips above your knees. Step towards the front of the mat with your left foot. Inhale, reach your arms up. Keep your shoulders down. And then exhale, rotate open towards the left. Inhale up. Exhale, rotate open towards the right. Inhale up. Exhale, release your right arm to your side, your left arm stays up, tuck your back toes under, and then come into the half camel pose. Look up or to the front. And then with your next inhale, come back into Anjaneyasana, untuck your back toes, and stand back underneath your hips. Sit back down onto your heels. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. Balance out your spine. Maybe you want to roll your shoulders back. Keep your rib cage tucked in. And then with your next inhale, walk your hands towards the front. Lift your hips up and walk your feet towards the front of the mat as well into Uttanasana, forward fold. With your inhale, slowly roll yourself up into standing, vertebra by vertebra, be as slow as you can. Your head comes last, roll your shoulders back. Tadasana, mountain pose. Check your alignment. Your feet are hip distant apart, parallel to each other. Your pelvis is in a neutral position, ribcage tucked in, shoulders rolled back. You can take your hands to your heart center or to your sides. With your next inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, Utthita Hastasana. Maybe you want to look towards your fingertips and then step into the center of your mat with your right leg. Rotate open to the side. Your heels are a little bit rotated inwards so that your feet are in 45-degree angle. Bend your elbows, bend your knees, come into a goddess pose. Draw your shoulder blades together. Keep your rib cage tucked in. Your pelvis is tucked in. Breathe here. Hold. Maybe sit a little bit more towards the mat underneath you. Now with your next inhale, reach your arms back up. Bring your hands behind your back into prayer pose. Rotate your left leg towards the front. Your back foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. And then fold over your front thigh into a pyramid pose. Keep your back straight. A slight bend into your front knee. With your next exhale, release your arms. Bring your left hand onto the inside of your left foot. Your right arm comes all the way up towards the ceiling. You can also come a little bit up to straighten up your front body. So you're opening your front body all the way towards the right side into Trikonasana, triangle pose. One more inhale here. And then with your exhale, rotate back towards the mat. Bring your back foot a little bit closer towards the back of the mat. Lower your knee into Anjaneyasana. Reach your arms up. And with your exhale, bring your hands to your heart center and then lift into Skandasana, side lunge. Your right heel comes into the mat. Your left leg is open, knee pointing towards the corner of the mat. With your inhale, move through the center all the way to the right side. And then inhale all the way into Anjaneyasana on this side. Lower your knee, untuck your toes, bring your hands above your head. With your exhale, bring your hands back to your heart center. Step your back foot into the center of the mat, parallel to the short side of the mat. Bring your hands behind your back and come into your pyramid pose on this side. Trust yourself. You're looking at the back of your mat, and that's okay. I will guide you through the flow. With your next exhale, release your right hand to your inside of the right foot. Your left arm comes up into triangle pose. You can also lift up a little bit to straighten up your back or your front body. You're opening the front body all the way towards the right side. You can look towards your hands or to the front. And then with your next inhale, come all the way up. Rotate both heels inward. Sit back down. Bend your knees, bend your elbows into your goddess pose. Utthita Konasana. Pelvis is tucked in, rib cage closed, shoulder blades draw together. And with your next inhale, reach your arms up, step all the way to the front of the mat, and then bring your hands into your heart center, Tadasana mountain pose. Maybe you need to adjust your stance a little bit to be back on the mat. We are facing now the back of the mat. So we're doing this once again to come back to the front of our mat. Just listen to my voice. I will guide you all the way back. You don't have to look at your screen. With your next inhale, reach your arms through the sides all the way up towards the ceiling. Maybe you want to look at your fingertips. Step back with your left foot towards the center of the mat. And then open up towards the left. Bend your knees, bend your elbows into goddess pose. Sit down as far as it's available. Keep your pelvis tucked in, your rib cage tucked in. Draw your shoulder blades together as much as possible. Inhale, reach your arms up. Bring your hands behind your back. Your back foot is in a 90-degree angle. Your right foot is pointing towards the back of your mat. Fold over your thigh into pyramid pose again. Slight bend in your front knee. And then with your next exhale, bring your right hand on the inside of your right foot. Your left arm points up towards the ceiling. You can look at your left hand or towards the front. Maybe you want to come up a little bit again to straighten up your back. You can also use a block here if you need to hold yourself up. And with your exhale, rotate all the way with your hands onto the mat. Step your back foot all the way towards the front of the mat. Lower your knee and come into Anjaneyasana. One inhale here. One exhale here. With your next inhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Rotate open towards the left. Take a breath here. You have a strong straight back. Your knee and foot is pointing towards the corner of the mat. Your left heel is in the mat. With your inhale, come all the way to the other side, Skandasana on the left side. Take a breath here. And then with your inhale, come back into low lunge, lower your knee, bring your arms above your head. With your exhale, bring your hands back into your heart center. Step your back foot into the center of the mat so that your back foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. Bring your arms behind your back and lower above your front leg. Straight back here. Look down to your toes. Maybe you want to have a slight bend in your front knee. Strong core, strong shoulders. And with your next exhale, bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Your right arm comes all the way up. Maybe you want to come up a little bit to straighten out your front body. You can look towards your right fingertips or to the front and breathe here. Slow and steady breaths. With your inhale, come all the way up. Bring your heels towards the center of your body. Reach your arms up. Bend your knees, bend your elbows into goddess pose. Sit back down. Keep your pelvis tucked in, keep your ribs tucked in, shoulder blades draw together. Inhale, reach your arms up and step all the way towards the front of the mat. Hands to heart center. Stay here for a breath. Balance out your body in Tadasana mountain pose. With your next inhale, reach your arms above your head and then release into your forward fold Uttanasana. Fold over your thighs. Maybe your hand can grab your ankles, maybe your big toes. Maybe you want to ragdoll from side to side by grabbing the opposing elbows. Do whatever feels good for you and feel the air around you. And find back stillness. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Step back towards the back of your mat and come all the way into your downward facing dog. Check your alignment. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your hands are shoulder width apart. You are lifting through your pelvic floor. Your navel is against your spine. Rib cage tucked in, shoulders drawn away from your ears. With your next inhale, lower your elbows onto the mat into dolphin pose. Adha Pincha Mayurasana. With your exhale, step back into forearm plank Phalakasana 2. Inhale, lower your tummy, lift your chest up, untuck your toes, Sphinx pose. And then with your exhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and lift back towards your heels into Balasana, child's pose. Take a breath here. And with your next exhale, tuck your toes under, come into your downward facing dog. Maybe you need to adjust your stance a little bit or come back onto your mat if you're too far back. Take a breath here in your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And with your inhale, lower back your elbows onto the mat. Exhale, step back into forearm plank Phalakasana 2. Make sure your core is strong, your shoulders are strong. And then inhale, lower your tummy, come into Sphinx pose, untuck your toes. And then exhale, child's pose, Balasana. One inhale here. And then with your exhale, tuck your toes under, come into your downward facing dog. Maybe you need to adjust again. Walk back onto your mat. Take a deep breath here. And then with your inhale, lower your elbows. Step back with your feet into forearm plank. Lower your tummy with your inhale. And with your exhale, come back into your child's pose. Ground your forehead into the mat underneath you. Maybe come onto your fingertips. Take a few deep breaths here. Feel the breath in the back of your body. And then with your next inhale, walk your hands towards your knees. Cross your feet from underneath your pelvic floor towards the front, and then sit into the middle of the mat again. Roll yourself down onto your back as slowly as possible. So bring your hands in front of me, in front of you. I bring my hands in front of me, you bring your hands in front of you. And then start to roll yourself vertebra by vertebra all the way down onto the mat. Really try to use your core here. So go as slow and steady as possible. Your head comes last. Bring your heels towards your buttocks as close as possible so you can touch your heels with your hands. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your arms are straight by your side. If you want, you can use a block to place it in between your thighs. And then with your inhale, lift your hips up into bridge pose. Take 3 breaths here. Feel already the opening of your heart. With every breath, the air flows all the way into your lungs, into your chest, maybe all the way into your tummy. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. And with your exhale, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, lower yourself back down onto the mat. If you had the block in between your thighs, then you can remove it now. Try to remember that muscle memory that you use. So you used your inner thighs pressed against the block, and we will do that now as well. You can again come into bridge pose if you want. For everyone else, we will go into the wheel pose. So your fingers or fingertips are pointing towards your shoulders, your elbows are pointing towards the ceiling. We lift up as in bridge pose. So with your inhale, either lift up to bridge pose or lift your hips and your head all the way up into your wheel pose. Urdhva Dhanurasana. You can also come onto your toes if you want, and then bring all the weight above your wrists. So you bring your shoulders above your wrists. Breathe here. Feel your chest expanding in this pose with every breath. Keep your thighs parallel to each other. And then with your next exhale, slowly release wherever you are onto the mat underneath you. Maybe you walk your feet mat width apart, let your knees fall inward. Take a few deep breaths here. You can take your hands onto your tummy. Balance your spine. Feel into your breath. We will do this one more time. So again, if you want to come into bridge pose, you can come into bridge pose. If you want to come into wheel pose, you can come into wheel pose. And then you can stay in wheel pose, or you can try to come into forearm wheel if that's something that you practice. Now with your next inhale, walk your feet back behind your buttocks, hip distance apart, your knees pointing upward, your hands either by your side or preparing for a wheel pose. Place your fingertips towards your shoulders, elbows sticking up. And then with your next inhale, lift your hips up, maybe lift your head above your wrists. You can stay here, either in bridge pose or in wheel pose, or if you're in wheel, you can come into your forearm wheel, lower yourself down onto your forearms, and then breathe here. And then wherever you are, come out the way you came in. And lower yourself vertebra by vertebra onto the mat. Again, bring your feet mat width apart. Let your knees fall inward. Maybe your hands onto your tummy. Take a few balancing breaths here. And with your next inhale, bring your knees towards your chest. Maybe place your hands underneath your knees, so on the other side of your knees, between your thigh and your calf, and then start to roll up into a seated posture again. Maybe take a few rolls to massage your spine here, and then when you're ready, come all the way onto your shins. So sit back down into Thunderbolt pose. We will do one more little challenging posture. We will go into the Savasana A or B or C, you can choose. I will do the Savasana A. If you know how to do that, you can go straightly into that. Otherwise, I will shortly explain. You take your hands or interlace your hands, place your elbow shoulder width apart on the mat in front of you. Then the crown of your head, that's the space where your fingertip meets, or your middle fingertip meets the head when you place your hand onto your forehead. That's the crown of your head. This you place on the mat, and then the back of your head goes into your interlaced hands. And then keep strong shoulders here, and tuck your toes under, lift your pelvis up, and then start to walk towards your elbows. When you feel comfy, you can start to lift up one leg, then the other leg, and then maybe come all the way up into your Savasana A headstand, supported headstand. Rotate your legs outwards so that your gluteus is really strong, your legs are really strong, your core is strong, and then breathe here for 5 breaths. Slow and steady. One more breath here. And then slowly lower back down as slowly as you got in, and come into a child's pose. Release your forehead into the mat. Maybe release your arms into the mat. You can also take your arms around you so that your hands are on your heels. And then just listen to your breath, to your in and out breaths. Maybe you want to release some air through your mouth. From here we will move into hare pose. So we will round our back as a counter pose for all the heart openness that we did. So again, place the crown of your head where your forehead was before. If you haven't already, grab your heels with your hands and then start to lift up your hips, rounding your back here. Keep a hold of your heels with your hands. Really feel the opening of your shoulder blades, the rounding of your back. One more deep breath here. And then roll back down onto your heels. Bring your hands back towards the front of the mat. Look towards the front and then come all the way onto your tummy. Place your hands on top of each other, elbows sticking out. And your forehead can be placed onto your hands into crocodile pose, Makarasana. Maybe you want to wiggle your hips from side to side a little bit. Balancing out your spine, releasing your lower back. And then find stillness. Straighten your arms to your sides. Place your right cheek onto the mat. Bend your left knee and then guide your left foot all the way to the right side. Maybe you want to take your left hand or arm as well, pointing towards the back. And maybe you want to reach for your left foot with your left hand, opening up your front body one more time. You can also stay in the twist. And with your next exhale, release your arm, release your body back into center. Exchange your cheek, so your left cheek is on the mat, and then bend your right knee and bring your right foot towards the left side. Maybe reach your right arm towards the back as well. And then if you did on the other side, grab your right foot, opening up the front of your body one more time. With your next exhale, release your leg, release your arm, come all the way back into the crocodile pose. Makarasana, your forehead on your hands. Maybe you want to wiggle your hips again for one more time. And then find stillness, take a few breaths here. Feel a breath in the back of your body. And with your next inhale, roll onto your back all the way. Bring your knees towards your chest. Rock from side to side a little bit, massaging your lower back here. And then lift your head. Make yourself into a tiny little ball. Squeeze everything together. Squeeze out all the air. And then inhale into your squeezed body. Squeeze a little bit more. And with your exhale, release out the air out of your body. Extend your legs towards the front, your arms to your sides. Maybe take your arms a little bit wider to get some air into your armpits. Your palms facing the sky, your feet falling outward. Use your breath to release any tension within your body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Let the breath guide you deeper and deeper into the relaxation. May today there be peace within. May you trust that you're exactly where you're meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise and love. It is there for each and every one of us. Slowly start to come back to your breath and how your breath moves your body up and down. Maybe you want to move your fingers and your toes. Rotate your hands and your feet. And then maybe reach your arms above your head and make yourself really long, stretching through your fingertips and through your toes. Maybe bending from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, come onto one side, maybe through bending your knees, and then roll onto your favorite side. Take a few more breaths here and find your physical body back into the room. You can keep your eyes closed or start to peel them open. And when you're ready, use one hand to lift yourself up into a seated posture. Take your hands into your heart center. Nod your head slightly towards your fingertips. And then bring your hands towards your mouth. May you speak with love and compassion. Take your hands towards your mouth. May you speak through love and compassion. Take your hands towards your third eye. May you see the good in all. Take your hands to your heart. May you love unconditionally. Thank yourself for taking the time to practice. I want to also thank you for letting me guide you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this airy flow. I hope to see you next time for my ether flow. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. Give me a like or a comment and let me know how you liked it. See you next time.